Talbird. I'm a Community Development Associate with Remain America. I started out as an entrepreneur just like you. I do have a business. It's called Chenielle Talbird Consulting. And I started out last year just wanted to do something different just overall with my life. I'm a mompreneur. I have a mother of three, and I'm really invested into my children's future and their education. I really needed the flexibility from a traditional corporate job. And so the Lord put it on my heart to start some community development work. And I was able to be led into this program called Remain America. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it, but before we get started, Dr. Jones, help me keep track of my time because I want to make sure I hold space for the next speaker. But has everyone received something related to Remain? I just want to make sure that everyone has something related. Okay. Thank you. So for my audience that is sitting over here to my left, you should have one of these cards along with the flyer. So the flyer is for you. It has my contact information along with the rest of the Remain America staff's contact information. But after the presentation today, if you're interested in learning more and to seeing how you can join this entrepreneurial program, please definitely contact me. And then the card is for a friend. If you feel like there's a friend that would be interested in this program, this is just a quick little one-pager, if you will, a quick little postcard that has pretty much the same information in summarization form on this card. So if you would like a flyer, I believe I have just a few more, and I'll make sure that you get one after the session. So my main takeaway today is to present you with Remain America. So we have a presentation over here on the wall. For my friends that are sitting on this side, I'm sorry it might be a little bit of a strain, but I'm going to do my best to project my voice so that you can get the information. So Remain America, that's right, I'm going to work with this. I just love the technology summit, so I should know a little something today, right? All right. So today is actually a mini presentation. It's a small snapshot of what Remain America is. Remain America is a nonprofit organization founded in 2008. This is focused on Black entrepreneurial women. We believe in giving a hand up, not a hand out. We have several products and services that we offer. We offer a small business loan, starting from $500 up to $2,500. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our mission and our vision and how you can get started. So I'll start off with this part of the slide deck. The process to join Remain America is approximately 2 weeks from start to finish. It really just depends on how your flexibility and your schedule will work with our schedule as Community Development Associates for you to be able to get your first loan disbursement. So we start off with the mini presentation, which is used interchangeably as an information session. So you see that as the first step. The next step is it's based on a group lending model. So you get your money based on a group of 5, y'all. So I can't give you an individual loan just one-on-one. You and 4 other ladies have to form a group of 5. So men, you're probably wondering, well, that kind of counts me out. How does that apply to me? I'm glad you asked, because if you have a wife, if you have a sister, if you have a mother that's an entrepreneur, more than likely you can share this information with her and you can support her in that process, okay? And so we want to make sure everybody gets something from it. The next step, remember I said I'm a relationships person. So as a community development associate, what we do is we focus on bringing the information to you and establishing a relationship with you in your home. If you're comfortable, we come out to your home and we do a house visit. The house visit will give us an opportunity to kind of get a feel for you, do a little bit of interviewing so we can establish trust. We complete a membership profile, complete an application, we gather 5 documents, and we also verify your business, okay? And there's different ways of verifying business, and I'm sure you'll have that question towards the end. So hold those questions so that we can explain a little further. And also, we look at proof of income. Depending on the amount of the loan that you're trying to take out, we'll look at both proof of income and if you have a wage earning job like Miss Meredith does. She said my real life job is a teacher. Well, your real life job is also an event planner. So we want to make sure that both are taken into consideration. And then again, You're going through this 5 days of continuous group training. While that 5 days is taking place and you're getting a chance to get to know all the other ladies in your group, in your center, then you begin to recognize you all as a group. What we try to emphasize and stress is that even though the nominal amount of the small business loan, it looks good, it is not something you just want to jump into if you don't know the 4 other ladies that you're in the group with. Each individual will be responsible for paying back the loan amount that they said that they're going to pay back. However, it's a collective group to make sure that no woman gets left behind. So then the last piece is the loan disbursement. You have to have active membership. This is one of the great things about this program. The first loan cycle is 25 weeks, and we're going to get into the next portion of the slide. Okay. Before I get into some of the statistics and the history of Green America, I just wanted to conclude from our last slide that the first loan cycle is 25 weeks. Within that loan cycle, there's going to be open forms of exchange for business solutions and how to be able to educate others in their businesses, no matter if they're at the startup stage or more established stage. So let me tell you a little bit about the history of Green America. It started out in 2008 in Jackson Heights, Queens, New York. I actually lived in New York for about 10 years. She was fun. So it started out 2008. That was roughly about maybe 15 or 14 years ago. And we have expanded tremendously throughout the United States. As you can see, we started out very rapidly in the northeastern region of the United States, and then coming down to the south, and then over into the eastern region as far as California. And we are still expanding. Our closest branch to Memphis, Elevate, that's what we're called. We're the Elevate group. Memphis Elevate is Atlanta. All right. Professor Muhammad Yunus was the founder of Green America, and Green means of the village. It's a rural kind of connotation of the village, and we believe that it does take a village in order to be able to be a successful entrepreneur. He also believed that there are individuals who could help themselves get out of poverty by being an entrepreneur. So let me talk a little bit more about the group lending model that I talked about earlier. So the first step is we want to make sure that every woman has an opportunity for financial inclusion. What do I mean by that? When I say financial inclusion, meaning that there's opportunities that they have access to, that if they have a barrier, they should be able to overcome that barrier. If they have a challenge, there should be a business solution to help them to move forward. So what we do, we have this model here, and again, we start off with the group. Whenever the group comes together, it should be just like this, a think tank of business owners that have their different philosophies, have their different life experiences, their victories, their wins, and coming together and sharing resources. Anybody ever heard of a gatekeeper? A gatekeeper. When you think of a gatekeeper, I want to make this a little bit more interactive. What do you think of? Say it again out loud.
I'm watching the gate.
Watching the gate? Okay, yeah. And some people do. Another
say a watchman.
A watchman? Okay. Anyone else? Well, sometimes in the business arena, we hear the term gatekeeper as someone that is withholding information. And unfortunately, here in Memphis, we're trying to cultivate a culture where we're uplifting one another. We're not being gatekeepers in that aspect, but keepers of one another, right? And so we want to make sure that we employ that group lending model where we're uplifting one another. The training. Also, we have weekly center meetings that's actually twofold with the training. If we can get over who didn't pay their loan and all that, we actually have an agenda that is built on financial coaching. It's a 25-week program, so we're getting an opportunity to meet with everyone weekly. Also, there's an opportunity to have one-on-one business consultations. I love that. That's one of my favorite things that I like to do with my center. Now, I want to take this segue to highlight someone in the room, Miss Nikki. I call her Nikki, but of course, y'all might know her by Shantae. So Shantae is actually one of the newest groups that I formed personally. I've had the privilege to form at an Alcee Ball event, an outreach event a couple months back. And Nikki, tell us a little bit about what you've experienced so far.
Well, Grameen has been life changing for me. I put my business aside for a while because I didn't have anybody to invest in me. And so I just kind of gave up on my business. Well, when I was hosting an event at Alcid Ball, is when I met Chenielle and Jay. And they saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself, and I just started talking to them about my business, and they told me about Grameen, and ever since I've been there, it's been awesome. The young ladies that are in my group, I mean, we talk through text messaging, not every day, but we have to be able to come to our meetings at least once a week. We have to be in our meeting at 6:55, or Miss Chenielle will shut it down. So it's like everybody, you can tell they just getting up, because like some of them, I had their camera off, and she be like, no, turn them cameras on. And you know, I'm not an early person, so when I see it's like 6:45, I be like, okay, let me get up. But Chenielle and Jay have been amazing to work with. It's a really good program, and if you got a business and you trying to start it up, Grameen is the right way to go. And I'm sorry I sound so robotic, but I got my retainers in, so it make me sound like that, so I'm sorry about that.
No, you sound great. Thank you so much for your feedback. And just to kind of add to what Ms. Nikki's saying, you know, she's one of the newer members, so you know her experience is what you're gonna make. Okay, this is a segue. I'm gonna hurry up and get through the rest of the slides. There are so many community resources here in Memphis for Black entrepreneurs, but they're being underutilized and they're being undervalued. There's so much money to be made. I went to a BNI event. I think it's called like Business Network Initiatives. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But there was $2 million in the room on Thursday. And everyone dominated their particular industry, and they were the experts in their industry in the room. And what they did was they came together. This was in Germantown, y'all, so y'all know the demographic is a little different. They come together weekly, and they provide a 30-second pitch, Dr. Jones, and they talk about their name, their company, their business, and how they can get referrals. And with that buddy system, they make $2 million each year just based on the referrals. And that is a part of the Grameen model. We want to be able to have these clusters, these groups of women that can send referrals to each other. So it's so important to have your camera on. We used to have a model where you had to meet in person. Keep in mind, the weekly meetings are only 30 minutes. That is for that business owner. That is so that business owner can keep that business at the forefront of their minds, because what happens sometimes? We forget about our business, or our business is not doing well, so we just stop putting life into it. Right? I want to segue and I want to talk a little bit more about the demographic of who we're looking for. So we're looking for Black women, but our demographic is pretty much women who are average age about 43 years old. That's what we have right now. They're English speaking, they're wage earning workers, they may work full-time, part-time. Their average loan might be about $2,000, okay? You may say, oh, that's small change, that's little money, that ain't nothing. Not necessarily, because if you're struggling with your credit, if you are having challenges where you can't get capital funding from one of the larger banking institutions, this might actually be a good opportunity for you. What I love about me is that when you matriculate through those first 25 weeks, that first loan cycle, and you have an opportunity to pay off your repayment, it's very, very little interest, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the presentation. Not only is it affordable to pay, we make sure that our members don't go into debt. We don't want to put any additional hardship on our members, so we make recommendations. This is how much you should take out. Stay in the program with us for the 25 weeks. And then if you're interested in continuing with us, then you can get a loan increment. And so now you're looking at about maybe another $750 added on to maybe an increase of what you want. Let's say you start out $500. Maybe you want to jump up to $2,000 in addition to the $750 increase. Okay? And that's just after completing the first loan cycle. So ladies who may fit this type of profile, maybe your Vantage credit score is 589. Now keep in mind, I need you to hear me, ladies and gentlemen, we do not do credit check. We do not do background check. We have no collateral. The only thing that we have is the trust system. Nikki telling me, oh, I know 4 other ladies that I trust. I know they're ready to go. They're serious about their business. They're not going to forfeit on their repayments, because if they do, I know where they live, and I will make sure that they pay their money, because we don't want to get a bad rap. So that is what we're looking for. We're looking for that type of trust system and that commodity. Okay. Again, going back to the type of industries that we serve, we mostly have food and beverage, salon, hair services, ladies, clothing and fashion, and then miscellaneous services actually make up the majority of our type of industries that we serve. Okay, so I think I kind of skipped a little bit. Oh my gosh, y'all, so I'm a bit. Let me see how I can get back to my presentation. But in the meantime, who has some questions? Please go ahead while I troubleshoot.
Okay, like you said, it's a group of women, right?
Yes.
People that you trust.
Correct.
Okay, that's if I trust all these women in this room.
Yes.
And we get these loans.
Yes.
And they decide they don't want to pay for the loan they got, we're responsible.
Correct. I'm glad you got that so quickly. because you know, when we're underwriting these loans and everyone is so excited to get their amounts, a lot of times they're not thinking about if the other person is going to be able to pay back that loan within the 25 weeks, unfortunately. And so it's so good that you're thinking about that now, because sometimes it may take a little while. You may hear this opportunity, but you know what? I might have to think about this, I have to pray about this and think about who is really serious, who is ready to go, so that it doesn't negatively impact our group, because it can. One of the things that we would use as a recourse, we're a nonprofit organization, so we actually report to Experian and Equifax. We don't report to TransUnion right now. But out of the 2 of the 3 credit bureaus, we help ladies build their credit. If I can get back into my presentation, we'll talk a little bit more about that. So it hurts their individual credit when they don't make their repayments on time. But can I tell you, y'all, some people are not good stewards of that. They just kind of, stop. And so we're a nonprofit organization. We don't have like a third-party bill collector on the front end. We're the bill collector, the person that's the relationships person that blessed you with this beautiful loan that you were so happy to receive on the front end.
So I got 2 more questions.
Two
The
more.
second and third question. Okay, so the second question, would it affect us as a whole? And the third question, would you all trust us in the future for the ones who we are doing right? Will you all still trust us, even though 1 or 2 might not did it right?
This is so good. So we have we're getting ready to celebrate 2 years next month for our branch, and this has definitely been pioneered here in the culture of Memphis. We have had that historically. Evaluations are important. If you're a good steward individually, you're making your weekly repayments on time. You're making sure to get your center meeting attendance and getting your credit. You're reaching out. You're really trying to make an effort. They will take a look, and I say we will take a look, and we may have to even place you in a different center that you may be a better fit for. But we don't want one individual to necessarily be jeopardized or hindered from an opportunity like this, especially if we know that they've been a really good steward. So there is some individual evaluation. I think one of the things, if I could answer your question, one of the things that would negatively impact the group as a whole is that we would not want to extend or grow the group. If ladies are not making their payments historically from that first group, then maybe we would not have opportunity to grow that group. And they would have to continue to work on making their weekly repayments on time. Yes.
So, I know you say this consists of 5 women or business.
Correct.
So, you say the most amount is 2,500?
To start off. powerful question. So to start off, everyone can decide how much they would like to request. You can start off requesting anywhere between $500 up to $2,500. The $2,500 offering is new, and we are looking for ladies who are earning a certain amount in order to qualify for the $2,500. So I think before you came in, I mentioned we would look at their personal income. Let's say they worked a wage earning job in addition to having their business income. We would look at both to be able to facilitate, because if you can remember, the last slide was showing the financial demographic of the average Bermuda America member. They don't make a lot of money, so $2,500 might not be a good fit for them. And also to answer your question, Mr. Jaquila, there is a portion where we're doing the membership recognition. So remember, we start off with the mini presentation, 5 days of CBT, everybody completes their membership profile, and then we go into our first day of our center meeting, which is the first day of loan disbursements. We're gonna do a pitch for our business. How much we're taking out, what we're utilizing it for. The 5 ladies in the group can say, girl, you're taking out too much for some lashes, girl. $2,500 for some lashes. What you doing with all that money? And they have an opportunity to object and say, no, I wouldn't agree to sign on for $2,500 for some lashes. We don't have to reevaluate that. And that's what we want. Because ultimately, it's not really up to us as staff to say yes or no. We're trying to make sure that the conversation is happening in the room and you all become the bank. Does that make sense? So everybody does not have to take out $2,500. What alignment scripture? They're not going to even qualify for $2,500 because they can't afford to pay it back. We do a budget worksheet.
25 weeks.
We're gonna have our one-on-one, right? We're gonna have our one-on-one. I've been trying to connect with her for 2 months. Some ladies are at a different level, Miss Cooper. You remember?
Yeah,
That's
I
different
was
level.
just saying that because
I know, but some individuals may be at a different level. Yes, Miss Nikki, this is very good, by the way.
It is. So with me being in a group, it's a difference between Chenielle, because like our group, we talk among each other and not always include Chenielle in the meeting, because we need to talk about some things. So one young lady wanted to take out a loan for $2,500, and so the other young ladies were like, $2,500, it might be a lot to pay back. And so, but with her having the business that she had, and we saw the revenue because she sells clothes, but then we looked at, she's ran out of space in a particular area, and how much is that space costing her a month? Is her revenue enough to be able to handle the rent that she's paying in this hot area? And is she getting enough clothes, merchandise to be able to make this thing happen? Is she balancing it out? So at first she wanted $2,500, so then she thought about it and she came down on it. So it's kind of a thing where we kind of get together and be like, hey girl, for real though, So a lot of times we don't include Miss Chenielle in it because we kind of need to talk so we can keep it 100 with one another. And so if one young lady doesn't pay back, what we try to do is patronize another young lady that's struggling during their week to maybe put posts out on Facebook or send out texts to other people that we know that might need their products. So that's how we help another person that's struggling to pay their repayment back that week. Yeah.
So Ms. Nikki is referring to what we call a unity payment. And I think this is a good segue as we're coming back in to kind of talk about some of the things that we do to troubleshoot to help continue to offer a hand up and not a handout. How am I doing on time, Ms. Dr. Johnson? So unity payments can be one thing, but of course you don't want to abuse that, because if a person's always asking for a unity payment like half the loan cycle, then you know that they have an issue with money, right? And so we're gonna have to start looking at different business solutions. Maybe you want to talk to them about, maybe revisiting their budgeting, sheet, and I'll talk about that in a second. Or maybe it's something that we need to be able to strategize together to help this person feel the accountability, knowing that not only am I responsible for my own, I'm responsible for yours, and I'm not going to keep paying off on your loan. Not to say that we've had those conversations often, but life happens, right? So I think these are some good things for us to talk about. So the offering. Alright, so as far as what we offer, let's talk a little bit about the Relief member perks. The center meeting is a perk. Like I said, it's kind of like a think tank type of feel. Business coaching, that's something one-on-one you would be able to sit down and talk with me about your business. I love that part. It helps me build community with my ladies. Financial coaching as well. Yes, Miss Ashley. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Also, there's education, financial education with that. There's a savings program that we're getting ready to roll out. So whenever we do our membership profile meetings, we go out to the home, we complete a questionnaire, and then we do a budget worksheet. That budget worksheet is based on that month that we're in. And we go over transportation service expenses, monthly household expenses. We look at your income, we deduct that, and then we show you what your residual amount is at the end of that. That residual amount you should be able to save, pay back your repayment, and invest into your business. If you're not able to do that, then we need to look at doing something different. And that's when we start making recommendations of how much of a loan amount that it should be able to take out. Then we go into looking at creating a loan schedule. Okay, so let's say we put in the loan amount that they're interested in, not saying that that's what they're going to be approved for. Then we put in a 9% interest rate on a declining balance, and then we show them this is how much your weekly repayments will be. It will be a fixed amount every single week. Okay? Then we show them what the interest looks like. Am I right, Ms. Nikki? Show them what the interest looks like, and they understand that the interest will decline each week as they're making their repayments. All right? And we also talk about building credit. So we report on the 15th of each month, and so as the ladies are learning to get their repayments in and they're building that level of discipline, they'll see in a matter of about maybe 3 months after being into the program, they'll begin to notice a change. So again, just to reiterate, we help with building emergency funds, building credit scores and credit history, and also the interest rate. So the interest rate, the annual interest rate, I need everybody to hear me on this because this is where we get tripped up sometimes. I know I certainly did. The annual interest rate is 18% on a declining balance. Don't forget to write that part down. When we look at the first loan cycle is 25 weeks. That is 6 months and 1 week. We chop that 18% into 9% on a declining balance. When we divide it up by 6 months, that is 1.5% on a declining balance each month. So the interest that you're paying on this loan, I promise you, it's not a lot of interest. Let's say, for example, you take out a $1,500 loan, you may end up paying something like $30 attached to that $1,500 payment back. Does that make sense? So don't allow that 18% to scare you. I know it did me. The first time I heard this presentation, I was like, 18%. That's all I heard. I did not give them time to finish. I didn't give them time to help me digest on a declining balance. I was like, no! Go ahead, Mr. Sheila.
So that declining balance, just say for a second.
Say that one more time.
Just say you do, just say X amount. Just
Sure.
$500.
Sure.
And once they do your percentage and everything.
Yes.
So, what if you decide to pay that off before time? Then how does that work as far as the interest?
Powerful question. There is no penalty for paying off the loan early. Here's my concern about what we are trying to project to the community. It's not about the loan, y'all. It's about getting Black people together on a weekly basis to become an excellent business owner. So if you pay off the loan, stay with your group. weekly and keep meeting with them. What we're finding is that our ladies may not want to continue with the group, and that's fine. If you don't like the group, you realize it doesn't work for me. Make a recommendation and replace yourself. Put somebody else in the group that might be like-minded, that might be at a different level of business, that would be grateful for the opportunity and would do well with stewarding the repayments and attending the weekly meetings so that they can get the business coaching and get a sense of community. Does that make sense? Y'all, we need this in Memphis, I promise you. Alright, so I don't know, has anybody heard about the tea room downtown, Miss Barbara? Have y'all heard about it? Black owned tea room. She is amazing. She's one of our members, and I mean, if you like tea parties and you like to dress up with your gloves and your dress and your, what they call those things on your head, they have a word for them. It's like an exasperator or something like that. I don't know the name of it, but y'all know what I'm talking about, ladies. Well, that is a place for you to go and get cute and do things like that. The food is great, y'all. She also has food that is cooked there, meals prepared. I just wanted to start off with that because it's so important for you all to know that no matter what scale of business you're in, if this is a resource that can help you, maybe there are younger, aspiring entrepreneurs that need this opportunity, and you can start off in their group, and you can lead the way and open up the door for them, right? So again, the takeaway is forming a group of 5 ladies that you trust. We look at government-issued ID, social security card, proof of address, proof of income, and of course, having a Grameen staff member to come out and verify all those things. Great question, great discussion so far. We're almost done. Anyone else have any questions? All right, so again, as far as our requirements, we just want our members to be disciplined. We have an affirmation that we say at the beginning and the end of each center meeting. Discipline, unity, and hard work are the keys to success. We want to make sure that our investments, the loans that we're providing, that they are being utilized within 21 days of disbursement, and receipts are given to us so that we can verify the loan utilization piece. Okay. All right, and how are loans dispersed? Loans are dispersed through an ACH transfer, meaning direct deposit, or you can be given a prepaid card. So those are for ladies who are maybe, some ladies may not have an active bank account. Maybe some ladies are going through a transition, in their household. Or they're 18 years old, which they would qualify for the program, and they just don't have a bank account yet. So the prepaid card might be a better option. The prepaid card is actually a MasterCard that we offer, and you can use that on online, any participating stores. So as far as the repayments and how the repayments are made, again, there's no application or fees associated to being a part of this program, but there are processing fees when you need to make a payment. So 80 cents for the ACH transfer, $1.99 for a debit card, or if you go into a store, it's 99 cents if you want to do cash. All right, again, 21 days to complete making the payment. You do not have to utilize the whole entire loan. You can actually use some of the loan money to start making your repayments. We understand in business you may not be making money right away, so it's okay for you to hold some of the money to start making your repayments to use it as a cushion. So this is an infographic, and this just kind of ties up the presentation as we conclude. This is a journey map. So you start off again with a presentation like this. If anyone is interested in going to the 5 days of CGT, just look for 4 additional ladies that would start your first group. Then you will go into doing your membership profiles and then forming your group, and then we would have center meetings. The first center meeting, you would get your first loan disbursement. All right? And then after that, next 25 weeks, you will be in this entrepreneurial program, and we're looking for you to be able to scale your business or to at least meet the initial goal that you said that you want to meet out of this experience. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. Again, my name is Chenielle Talbird, and I am a Community Development Associate with Green America. I'm here for the remaining of the portion of this KBA meeting today, and I'm here to answer any questions.